We are removed and called from the common things of the world to the uncommon and holy purposes that he has for us. Marvelous are your works. So works can be, when we say I'm going to work, it implies an action or an activity. But then we can also talk about these are the works of God's hands. These are the things that have been made. It's the product of the work. It could be a poem or it's property. So, and when we see the word property, then when we go back up to the word formed, that erected or created, which implies ownership, that a work belongs to the person who has made it. So, which refers back to the principles of ownership that we've seen before. And so appropriately, our heart response to all of this is to acknowledge God as our maker and to submit our lives to him. And then we see the other response, that my soul knows very well. So if we were to summarize all of that verse then, that we will give praise to God, for we are made with reverence and awe and with distinction. We are marvelous. We are brought forth, prepared, provided for, maintained, and sustained by God's sustaining work. And we see that all of this makes us separate and distinguished and singular. It's a miraculous process. And the result is that we, as a work, belong to God. Verse 15, my frame was not hidden from you. Again, the footnote says frame or bones. A substance is the word used in the King James Version. When looking up this word, it implied power and strength. And so this is where we get the translation of the bones from, because that is what gives our body strength in order to stand upright. It keeps us from being a jellyfish, essentially. It's what enables us to move. It's the bones, and if the muscles didn't have the bones to attach to, there would be no movement, there would be no strength. So this is how our body is held up, and it provides support for us. The next word, my frame, was not hidden from you. Looking up the word hidden, this meant to secrete away, to destroy, conceal, to make desolate, or to cast away. And as I had my list of key words, and I'd forgotten to put not in front of that one, so I thought, this is a funny word to be having in this verse. But here we see the negative connotation that when we put not in front of that, so God has not cast us away. He has not hidden us or tried to conceal us or make us desolate. But then when we go to the next phrase, when I was made in secret. Made is the same as the word above. This word secret implies a positive connotation of a covering, a hiding place, a secret place where you would save something or a treasure. So this is where a treasure or something very special would be hidden and taken care of. Colossians 1 refers to that all of our treasures of wisdom and knowledge are hidden in Christ. And then later in the passage, he also says that we, as believers, are hidden in Christ. And so we could make the extrapolation that we are treasures. We are part of Christ's victory that he is approaching the Father with. God knew of this treasure and knew that he was forming it even before the parents or others are aware of this child's existence in the womb. If then we take that back a step, that God knew even when we were made in secret in this hiding place before the rest of us knew that this baby was coming into existence. And skillfully or curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth, the next phrase. Skillfully wrought or curiously wrought, as the King James Version says, is one word in Hebrew, and it means to fabricate or to variegate color as by an embroiderer. So here we see it would be like the embroiderer starting and stopping threads in their weaving, that they stop this color and they know how to start the next color in to get an intricate design. Skillfully here implies that this is something that is done by a master artist. This isn't someone who is just learning an apprentice. This is the one who can make an incredibly intricate design. And we see variations in color and in function and in structure as we look at how we are all designed. We have eyes and ears and hearts and bones and muscles and lungs. And then also if we could take color literally within the body, our blood is red, our skins are varying shades of brown, our eyes can be yellow, green, or blue, or not yellow, hopefully not, brown, green, or blue, or black. We have other colors. The muscle has a texture, the bones are more white. And then as well as we see the variation in color between different people. He didn't make us all to look exactly the same. God said, I want some uniqueness in my creation. I want it to be specific, and I want it to have color and be exciting. The next phrase, and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Lowest parts of the earth, again, is one word, and it's a synonym for the womb. So as we have a parallel structure coming in, we have that we were covered in my mother's womb. Then we have that I was made in secret. I was skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. So we have the parallel word structure going on there to elaborate on what is happening. So if we were to summarize that whole verse, we see that our bones, which give us strength and power, were not destroyed or cast away from God, not something that he was not paying attention to while we were being created, but rather when I was being made by God in that treasured place and woven together as by an embroiderer with all the strings and colors and the right part within my mother's womb.